May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think over the last, I'd say 10, 15 years, a lot of people have come to realize how important mental health can be.
Absolutely.
How important your mental health to yourself can be. And we teamed up with ComQuest a million times. It's a really great partnership we have with ComQuest. And we've worked together over a lot of things. We've helped out with some of their events. They help out with our events.
Yep.
They were just with us. I mean, it's for Students for Sobriety, Northwest High School. And pleasure to be joined right now by Grete. She is the clinical psych coordinator at the ComQuest Alliance location. And she's joining us on the show and on the video as well. If you're watching, you can see her. And we thought it'd be really good to have her on and talk about this month and why it is important. So, Grete, first of all, before anything, thank you for taking the time to join us on the show today. And thank you for everything that you guys do at ComQuest, always helping us out here at Q92. It's a nice partnership we have.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Lauren and Christian. I listen every morning, and I really appreciate your show and having me on to talk about mental health awareness. We are very grateful that you give us the platform to talk about it because it's so important for everyone.
It really is. You know, our relationship with ComQuest over the years has evolved into many different things. And, you know, just all of the various services that you guys offer at ComQuest have become, you know, somewhat invaluable. I mean, I think that in the past 5 or so years, the stigma that surrounds mental health has kind of subsided, which is a good thing. Because I think before it hindered people from seeking the help that they truly needed. Because, you know, it was a little bit taboo to reach out and ask for help or to say, hey, you know what? I'm not okay. So with it May being Mental Health Awareness Month, you know, we thought it important. I know you guys think it's important to reach out and kind of let people know, hey, it's okay to say I'm not okay. And if that's the case, this is what you need to do. So, you know, Grete, I wanted to ask, what are some of your tips? And we'll get to it because I know you guys have a new podcast. I listened to it yesterday. It is fantastic. So I want to talk a little bit about that too. But, you know, just for Mental Health Awareness Month, what tips can you provide our listeners, you know, if they are struggling, whether it's an anxiety, panic, depression type of a situation?
Yes, I absolutely agree that stigma has been what has kept people from coming in. And that has been one positive that has come out of the COVID pandemic is that people have started to believe that it's okay to seek help, that it's okay to not be okay. I can't remember where I heard that or who said that, but I love that motto. It's okay to not be okay because it is as simple and it is as complicated as that. And really, I mean, mental health has a wide range. So mental health is very much part of our overall health. So how we feel and what we think and what we do as a result of that has a lot to do with it. And it can have a wide range. It can be as simple as feeling down or experiencing a stressful event or a traumatic event or stress accumulating over time and then it becoming something more than that. And when it becomes more than that is when somebody can't function the way they used to. Their behavior changes. They don't enjoy the same things they used to. They don't feel quite the same way. Family and friends notice that they are not themselves, as it were. That's what we hear most often. And honestly, the best thing to do is talk about it. Because usually, you know, those types of addiction and other mental health concerns and stigma even thrives in secrecy. So if we talk about it, if we make it okay to talk about it, then that would be something that allows someone to say, you know what, maybe I do need help, or maybe I just need some support from family and friends. So it can be a wide range. But I would absolutely say my biggest tip is to talk about it and talk about it with someone you trust and then see if additional help from a counselor is needed, such as ourselves here at ComQuest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and Lauren touched on this too, how the stigma's kind of gone away a little bit. Have you, working in the field, have you seen over the last 10, maybe to 15 years, have you seen the change personally, especially even there's companies now that actually offer mental health days now where that was never a thing. And you see schools have programs now, you see some businesses have things like mental health days because they take it seriously. So as someone who's helping to fight and with mental illness and help people get better every day, I know we have so much far to go, but are you proud of where kind of society's come in the last maybe 10, 15 years?
I'm encouraged and hopeful. Let's say that I would love to see more of that happen. And I would say it has happened more in the last 5 years. I've been in the field about 12 plus years now, and I have seen it more in the last 5 years that it's changed to where we'd like it to be. But there is still a lot more to be done. And to that end, that's why it's so important that you're allowing us the platform to talk about it, to make it really just part of something we talk about on a daily basis. We talk about our physical health all of the time, the things we need to do to make sure we're healthy, our diet and exercise and rest. But as far as mental health, wellness, we don't talk about it as much, how important it is to manage our stress and manage situations where we don't feel okay. And that's where I would like this to go more than anything in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I had found out about your podcast. First of all, I was surprised, and this is just me showing how naive and somewhat ignorant I was. Mental Health Awareness Month has been observed since 1949, Christian.
Yeah.
And I feel like just in the past few years, we've really started observing it, putting it out there. And I think that's part of the movement with trying to overcome that stigma too, right? Like, we'll talk about an entire month, But I was listening to the podcast, and something that I didn't think of and that I thought our listeners could really benefit from was, you talked about our teenagers in the podcast, kind of like, there's a lot of stress going on right now, especially this time of year for our seniors. They're graduating. They're kind of like at that poignant time in their life where they're transitioning into adulthood. And there's a lot of unknowns for them, whether they're going to college, whether or not they're going to be working full time, whatever it is. But sometimes that looks like a little bit of panic or, causing some anxiety, things like that. So I loved that what you touched on in the podcast about how to identify if your child might be having some of those anxious feelings or panic feelings.
Yes.
So I think that's important for our listeners right now too. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, we actually have a link at the bottom of this live stream so that you know where you can go to listen to this. But I will also post it in the comments as soon as we're done with the interview too. So you can always go back and click on the link in the comments. It'll take you right there. And it is between yourself and Dr. Heberling, correct?
Yes, Dr. Michelle Heberling. She's our chief clinical officer, and she does talk about that at length, and I touch on it as well, that yes, teenagers as a group, they're experiencing exactly like you said, Lauren, a very transitional period of their lives, and it comes with all kinds of feelings, and to be able to sort through those, it takes understanding on the family's part, and it takes support, and really just talking about it, and but looking for, so you had mentioned, changes in behavior. I mean, that's across the board for everyone, but especially for teenagers, it may not be the classic signs of that we see in adults. It may be that they're angry. It may be that they're more irritable instead of isolating or withdrawing. And then, then you can think, oh, well, what's going on with them? Why aren't they happy? They're going to college or they're graduating, and they should be. But there are a lot of mixed feelings around that. So again, a discussion and understanding, and then education, a little bit of education can help on the family's part. Our ComQuest.org has a lot of good resources for information. Our local mental health board in Stark County does. So there are a lot of good information for family and friends to look into and see what they can do if their teen experiences that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those listening, if you want to be able to go and listen to this podcast, again, we're going to post it in the comments. It's at the bottom of the screen here in just a second. There it is. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
And, you guys can go over and check it out. But it goes through all kinds of things, identifying the most common types of mental health issues and things that we might be dealing with, and how to identify them in our loved ones, and what to do if we really want to help, whether we need to help ourselves or help others. So we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greta, before we let you go, too, if anyone has been listening to this and they're ready to reach out, they're ready to try to seek some help and get some, and just help themselves, how can they get a hold of you guys at ComQuest?
Call us or just walk in. At ComQuest.org, we have a list of walk-in hours every day for each of our offices, and they can just come in and get an assessment or call us and ask us any questions. We're always available. We're here Monday through Friday, usually between the hours of 8 and 5, but our Cannon offices are open a little bit later as well. So just please don't hesitate to reach out. We also, I know our marketing department also monitors emails that we may receive. So just please reach out and ask us anything you need to know or like to know. Yeah.
And I always tell people, Greta, like to reach out for help to me is a sign of bravery, not weakness.
Absolutely.
And one thing about everyone at ComQuest is when they answer those phones or when they talk to you when you walk in one of their facilities, there's no judgment. You're just there to help. So I know it's not easy. I know sometimes it takes swallowing pride or facing insecurities, but it's worth it. And you guys are there to help them every step of the way. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to be ashamed about. Reach out.
Yes, absolutely. And even if some of those feelings are there, it's okay. Just reach out and we will help you with that, because we are absolutely here. We're not here to judge. We understand the gamut of human experience. We experience them ourselves. Yes, we absolutely here, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Absolutely. And come in.
Greta, the clinical site coordinator for ComQuest in Alliance. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for everything you do with mental health and with addiction services. You guys are amazing. I tell you, every time you guys are on this, you literally save lives. Thank you for what you do for Stark County.
Thank you.
We appreciate you talking to us this morning.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.